Welcome to this deep dive. We're jumping right into a really massive shift happening right now.
Absolutely. The collision of cloud computing and artificial intelligence.
Exactly. Over the last, decade, these have gone from just buzzwords to, fundamental forces changing everything.
It's hard to overstate.
Yeah.
Think about the convenience, the power you get from the cloud anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And then you layer AI on top, its ability to learn from all that data, automate things.
It's a potent mix. And things have moved so fast, businesses aren't tied to that old, expensive on-site gear anymore.
Right. The cloud gives them agility, scale.
And AI delivers the smarts to actually use that infrastructure in totally new ways.
Okay, so our mission today, inspired by a piece from the Motley Fool, I think it was published May 7th, 2025.
Sounds right. 3 cloud and AI stocks that could help set you up for life.
That's the one. We want to really dig into why Microsoft, Cloudflare, and Five9 are being pointed to as, major players here.
Understand what makes them tick, why they might be interesting long-term.
Precisely. Okay, let's kick things off with the big one, Microsoft.
Ah, yes, Microsoft. Their story, especially since Satya Nadella took over back in 2014, it's really something, a true transformation.
The article really highlights that, doesn't it? Their big push into cloud, embracing mobile, those heavy bets on AI.
They didn't just dip a toe in, they pivoted hard.
They saw the future wasn't just on the desktop, right? They made their stuff work everywhere, mobile, cloud.
Which let them compete head-to-head with Amazon, with Google. It shows real adaptability.
And look where it got them. Azure is now number 2 globally in cloud infrastructure.
Only AWS is bigger. Getting to that number 2 spot, that really validates their cloud strategy.
And their AI moves are just as big. That huge stake in OpenAI.
ChatGPT creators.
Yeah. But it's not just money, is it? They're actively weaving AI, their Copilot, into everything. Windows, Office, Azure itself.
Making AI part of the daily workflow. That's key.
And the numbers back it up. The article mentions, 11% revenue growth, 16% earnings per share growth, compounded annually since 2014.
Those are strong CAGRs,
Right.
especially for a company that size. Fiscal 14 to 24. Impressive consistency.
And analysts expect that momentum to stick around. Projections are for 14% CAGR for both revenue and EPS through fiscal 2027.
That kind of forecast really underlines their strong position right now.
Now, the stock trades around, 28 times next year's earnings?
Yeah, which, isn't cheap on the surface.
But you have to weigh that against the growth outlook, their dominance in these key areas.
Right. Context is everything.
The article does flag some potential headwinds, though. Rising tariffs, trade issues.
Things that could make businesses maybe pull back a bit on software spending.
It's a valid point. Even giants like Microsoft aren't totally immune to the bigger economic picture.
True. Geopolitics always adds risk. But the core argument holds, I think.
Which is?
That the fundamental trends, cloud adoption, AI integration, those aren't slowing down.
Yeah.
And they should keep customers locked into Microsoft's ecosystem.
Okay, good points. Let's shift now. Cloudflare. Maybe less of a household name for some, but critical infrastructure.
Absolutely vital. They operate a bit more behind the scenes, but the internet relies on them. They're a major content delivery network, a CDN.
So explain that a bit. What does a CDN actually do?
Okay, so when you visit a website, data travels from its server to you. A CDN speeds that up. It caches copies of the site's content on servers closer to you, geographically.
Like local copies dotted around the world.
Exactly. Less distance means faster load times. A much smoother experience for you.
Makes sense. But it's not just speed, is it? The article stresses their security role, too.
Oh, yeah. Hugely important. Cloudflare acts like a shield, protects websites from bot attacks, DDoS attacks, all sorts of nasty stuff. They filter traffic. They have processes to verify requests, blocking malicious ones before they even hit the website's main server.
So they clean the traffic?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Michelle Zatlin, the co-founder, she called it a water filtration system for the internet. Cleans and secures the flow for everyone.
That's a great analogy. An invisible shield keeping things running. And they're getting into AI, too.
They are. Launched Workers AI back in 2023.
Workers AI?
Yeah, it's a platform. Lets developers build and run AI apps right on Cloudflare's edge network.
Those servers close to the users we talked about?
Processing AI closer to the user means faster results, more efficient AI. It's a smart move.
The scale mentioned in the article is just mind-boggling. Serving data from 335 cities, over 125 countries.
And processing 71 million HTTP requests every single second.
Oh, wow. That puts it in perspective.
It really shows how embedded they are in the internet fabric. The article notes quite rightly that if Cloudflare went
A
down,
lot of the web would just stop working.
a huge chunk of popular sites and apps would become inaccessible. That's how critical they are.
And their growth reflects that importance. Since the 2019 IPO, revenue CAGR of 40% from 2020 to 2024, that's explosive.
It really is. Now, they haven't always been profitable, that's true.
But analysts expect that to change.
Yeah, the projections show revenue still growing strong, maybe 27% CAGR through 2027, and they expect profitability by then.
Okay. The stock's valued at around 16 times next year's sales.
Which is steep, no doubt. Reflects that high growth, that critical role.
So the article basically frames Cloudflare as a direct bet on cloud and AI growth because they provide the pipes and the protection.
Exactly, they're foundational, a key enabler for this whole digital transformation.
All right, final company on the list, Five9. Different angle here, customer support in the cloud.
Right, Five9 is a big player in cloud-based customer support services. They provide the platform for companies to manage interactions.
Across all channels. Phone, chat, email.
All of them. Voice, chat, email, web, social media, mobile. And they're increasingly using AI, chatbots, smart routing, agent assistance tools.
Taking the old call center model, moving it to the cloud, and making it smarter with AI.
That's the core idea. And the article points out it's pretty easy for companies to plug Five9 into their existing apps.
Low friction for adoption. That helps.
Definitely. They need minimal code changes usually. That's attracted over 3,000 customers, enterprise, mid-market, SMBs, all over the world.
And they handle 14 billion call minutes a year. That's a lot of customer interaction.
It really shows the scale of the shift away from traditional call centers.
Yeah.
Five9 wants to replace those with streamlined cloud services.
What's interesting is the article mentions their resilience during downturns. How does that work? You'd think customer service might get cut.
Well, it's flexible. In good times, companies use Five9 to scale up easily, handle more customers.
Okay.
But in tougher times, they can lean more on Five9's AI and automation. Maybe reduce reliance on human agents, cut costs, become more efficient.
Ah, so it works both ways. Flexibility and cost savings. Very attractive.
Exactly. And their history shows solid growth too. A 26% revenue CAGR from 2014 to 2024.
Consistent performance. What about the outlook?
Analysts see maybe a 10% revenue CAGR going forward to 2027. So, slower, but still healthy. The big story is profitability.
They're expected to hit profitability this year.
Yes, and then earnings per share are projected to really take off like 125% CAGR over the next 2 years after that.
Wow, okay. And the valuation, the article says less than 2 times this year's sales.
Yeah, which seems potentially quite low given that profitability inflection point and the earnings growth expected.
So Five9 is positioned as maybe an undervalued way to play the shift to cloud-based, AI-enhanced customer contact centers.
That seems to be the argument, yes.
Yeah.
Capitalizing on that specific market growth.
Okay, so let's tie it all together. Microsoft, Cloudflare, Five9. What's the common thread here?
Well, the obvious link is how they're all strategically placed to benefit from these massive ongoing trends. Cloud computing and AI integration.
Right, each in their own way. Microsoft has the huge infrastructure, the broad AI integration across everything.
Cloudflare provides that essential secure plumbing for the internet, now adding AI at the edge.
And Five9 is transforming customer service, bringing it into the cloud, and making it smarter with AI tools.
And stepping back, you see, these aren't just tech trends in isolation. They're fundamentally changing business operations.
How companies deliver services, how they talk to customers, everything.
Which creates ripples, changes, and potentially, as the article suggests, big opportunities if you understand what's happening.
So the takeaway for you listening might be this. Cloud and AI aren't starving. They're still evolving.
And watching companies like these three, Microsoft, Cloudflare, Five9, how they operate, their strategies, it gives you real insight into where tech is heading.
Yeah, and potentially where long-term value is being created. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How these forces will keep shaping business, work, and, well, just our daily lives.